welcome back to my channel again. So I want to start off by saying the biggest thank you for all of you that have helped me reach 1,000 subscribers this week. I woke up yesterday and I hit 1,000 subscribers, and it's just the best feeling in the world to know that these past 6 months you guys have all supported my channel and followed my journey, and I hope you continue to do so. I've just loved reading all your comments and getting to know you all, and yeah, I'm just loving it. So I really want to carry on doing what I'm doing and just wanted to say a big thank you. So for today's video, I put a little call out on Instagram yesterday asking for any questions so I could film a Q&A. I was really scared to post that because I had visions of no one asking me any questions and it would just be like the biggest tumbleweed moment of my life. But thankfully, lots of you asked me questions, so I'm going to film this video today and hopefully you can get to know me a little bit better and we can just have a bit of a chat. So I'm going to dive straight in with the questions, as there are quite a few and I do have a tendency to ramble, so yes, we will dive straight in. So, I've got my phone here, by the way. If I'm looking down, I'm not being rude, I'm just having a read. So the first question is from Joanne Guy XX. Joanne has a YouTube channel. She has a little boy called Harrison and I really enjoy her videos, so I think you will too, so I will link it below and hop on over and check her out. And Joanne has said, wow, congratulations. Thank you, Joanne. I'll kick off the questions. Which traits would you like your little one to get from you, and which traits would you like him to get from your husband? That is such a good question. I will do one a physical trait and one personality trait for each of us. So for Andrew, a physical trait I would love our baby boy to get from Andrew is his mouth. He's got really good, really pouty lips. Really pouty lips for a boy. And I love a little pout, so I'm hoping our little boy has a little pouty mouth like Andrew's. Daisy's here being demanding if you hear her growling. And personality trait I would love him to get from Andrew is probably his hard working, he loves to work hard to provide for me and Daisy, our dog, and our baby in the future. He just works so hard to provide for us, and yeah, I just really hope that he has Andrew's work ethic and his focus and drive. So yeah, that would be probably the main personality trait I would love him to get from Andrew, although if I gave birth to a little mini Andrew, I would be over the moon because he is, don't tell him, don't want his head to get too big, but he is a lovely, lovely person, and I would be very happy if he was just like Andrew. A physical trait I would like him to get from me is probably my height. I'm very tall for a girl and my dad is extremely tall. My dad's 6'4", 6'5". My dad's very tall, and Andrew is not very tall. He's very short, and I think as a girl I would personally have liked to be shorter, but I think height's quite a big thing for a man. Andrew's not fussed at all, but I know a lot of men, you know, you've got to be tall and blah blah blah, and so for him I would hope that he gets the height from my side of the family, so he's a little bit taller than Andrew. Not that there's anything wrong with being short. So yeah, I would hope he got Andrew's lips and mouth and my height. And personality wise from me, I would say it feels weird bigging yourself up personality wise, doesn't it? But I would say maybe my, I think I'm a very compassionate person. It feels really awkward saying this, but I really feel things, and I think I'm really good at empathising with people and putting myself in their position as best I can, and I pride myself on being a very loyal friend and sticking up for people and just generally being sociable and making an effort. I like to think I make an effort with my friends. I try and stay in contact with them all as much as possible. I'm probably that annoying friend that WhatsApps 6,000 times a day, but I just like to know everyone's okay. So I would say, yeah, personality wise, I hope he has Andrew's kind of drive and work ethic, but I hope he has my compassion for other people. So yeah, that is the answer. to Joanne's question, which was, as always, long and rambly. So the next question is from LGH1990, who is my friend Lucy, and she has said, what traditions do you think you would like to continue which you have learnt from your family, and what new ones would you like to create with your new family? So when I think of traditions, my mind automatically goes to Christmas. I love Christmas. And one tradition I would like to keep up with our baby boy is what my mum does. And my mum bought me my Christmas stocking that Father Christmas fills with presents every year when I was very, very young, and every year she buys me a new tacky, like, light up Christmas badge that we put on the stocking. So I would love to do the same for our little boy and buy him a stocking, a really nice one when he's young, and then each year get like a jazzy badge to put on there. So I would like to do that. And one new tradition I 100% want to do is me and Andrew have always done this. We've bought a new really special bauble, at least one a year. So we would like to do the same for our little boy and buy a new bauble every year, like a really special one, and then when he is old enough to move out and have his own Christmas tree, he can take them all with him. That I would really like to do that. So that is probably the traditions I would like to take on and create with my new family. Yeah, thank you Lucy for your question. Archer Lily Adventures, who is of course my cousin Abby, says, yay, 1k, thanks G. And she said, where do you see yourself and your family in 5 years? She's got another question, but I'll ask that one first. So in 5 years, I'll be 32. Oh, that's pretty scary. I would like us to still be in this house. We bought this house with the intention of it being not necessarily a forever home, but a very, very long-term home. It's big enough for us to have a little family here. It's got all the space we need. It's a really nice area. And we're kind of doing it up and investing the time and money into doing it properly. So I'd hope we're still in this house. I'd hope, obviously, we've got our little, I keep wanting to say his name, but I hope we've got our little boy and he's happy and healthy and thinking about going to school by then, which is absolutely terrifying. Oh, and yeah, I just hope our family are happy and healthy, and potentially would have another child. I don't know. I'm still very on the fence about that. We kind of have said if we're lucky enough to have one, we probably wouldn't push it for a second one because it's just been such a long, stressful experience. But I think deep down, I know I would possibly want to try for a second baby. So yeah, that is where I see us in 5 years' time. And Abby also asked, has pregnancy been what you were expecting? That is a tough one to answer. Pregnancy has been nothing like I expected it to be when I set out on this journey 3 years ago. Not at all. I thought you'd get pregnant, you'd feel a bit sick. Naively, I thought everyone got morning sickness when actually they don't. I haven't had it at all, which I'm very lucky about. But like, that's just what you expect. You expect you spend the first 12 weeks feeling sick and then you have a baby and everything's great and people don't lose babies and bad things don't happen and you don't worry about that. Oh, Daisy, what a diva. So it's not been what I was expecting from 3 years ago, but it has been exactly what I was expecting following going on from infertility and recurrent miscarriage. It has been exactly what I'm expecting. It has been scary, very, very scary. It's been an anxious experience. It's been a stressful experience. It's been a magical experience in a million different ways. It's been incredible seeing the baby on the scan. Daisy just sneezed. Seeing the baby on the scan for the first time was everything I'd imagined and more, and in that sense, pregnancy has been exactly what I was expecting this time round, but not what I was expecting from the start, if that makes sense. You are being a right old diva, Daisy. Okay, next question. Hannah Luana. Hi, Hannah. And she says, as you know, I love your channel. Huge congratulations on hitting the 1,000. Thank you very much. And her question is, if your little one had been a girl, what name would you have used? So, I will share with you what baby would have been called if she was a girl. And we had quite a few names we really loved, but our number one name, which received mixed reactions from friends and family, I think it's one of those names you either love or you hate, and she would have been called Daisy, and she would have been called Primrose. I absolutely love the name Primrose. I've loved it for years and years. I've always wanted my baby to be called Primrose for a long, long time. I love Prim for short. I just love Primrose. Everything about it. I like Prim, I like Rosie. I just think it's really, really a pretty name. So Primrose was our number one choice. If she had been a girl, I'm pretty sure we would have had Primrose. But contenders were also Olive. I love Olive. I think that's really pretty. And it's a lot more unusual than Olivia, which gets used quite a lot. And I also loved Delilah. So it would have been Primrose, Olive or Delilah would have been my choices. But I'm pretty 99.999% sure she would have been Primrose. And if we ever are lucky enough to have another baby and it is a girl, I'm pretty sure she would still be Primrose. I don't really mind sharing that with you guys. So if I ever have a girl in the future, there's every chance she will be Primrose. So please don't be mean about it, because I think it is the prettiest name ever. It's Kelsey's Life, who I'm sure you all know, but again I will link her channel below, has said, if you could change one thing about your TTC journey that you can control, what would it be? And there are a million things I would change that are out of my control, but I think the main thing would be, and I've debated this a lot over the years, but I think the main thing would be that we would have just tried sooner. It's a tough one, because I think in a way I'm extremely thankful, in a weird way, that we have been through what we've been through, because I think there's so many things I hear people take for granted. That's completely understandable, because if you've never had to work for that, you will take it for granted, because you don't, I don't mean that to sound patronising, I hope you know what I mean, but there's so many things I see people take for granted with their children, that I think because I've been through what I've been through, I will just be so much more patient about, and so much more like appreciative of every little thing. And I'm not saying if you haven't been through this you're not appreciative, because of course people are, but I just think it has made me a lot more thankful for what I have. And if we had started trying sooner, and if I had got pregnant sooner, maybe I wouldn't be quite like that. But it's a tough one. But to cut a long story short, I kind of do just wish we'd started trying sooner. I always envisioned that I'd have my first child by the age I'm 24, and I'm 27 now, so didn't really go to plan. But yeah, that's probably it, that we'd started trying sooner. The next question is from Rachel_Orchard. Rachel went to my school, so hello Rachel if you are watching. And she has said, congratulations, have you thought of any names for the baby? And yes, the baby is named. It's very hard for me to not say his name in this video. I've announced his middle name will be Theodore, after my godson Teddy, so he will be something Theodore Cotter, but I'm just going to keep his first name to myself, because hopefully when he's born I can announce that he's here and I can announce his name, and that's just a moment I've always wanted to have, so I'm going to keep his name on the DL for now. But yeah, he is named. We call him by his name all the time, so yes. Hopefully stay tuned, and in October you will see. Alison Leah Garrett has asked a few questions, so I'll go through them one at a time. She said, I'm getting married in about 300 days. Congratulations, Alison. And I want to know, how long was your engagement? So me and Andrew got engaged in July 2013 and we got married in August 2014, so we were engaged for just over a year before we got married. What was your favourite and least favourite part about wedding planning? My favourite part was all the little details, you know, getting all the decorative bits together and like being a bit crafty and like making things. I loved that, and also I really enjoyed putting together the music that we'd have for like the ceremony and playing while we were signing the register and eating the meal. And yeah, I really enjoyed putting the music together for the day because I think that really kind of sets the tone of how the day is going to be. So that was probably my favourite part. My least favourite part was the table plan. I found that so stressful. There's so many like politics of who can sit with who and who can't sit with who, and oh god, it was just stressful. So the table plan was probably the least favourite part, although I enjoyed every single part of planning a wedding. Obviously the money part is not so fun because weddings are expensive. So that would also probably be the least favourite part, the getting the money together and doing the seating plan, just because it's stressful. It's stressful doing a seating plan. And Alison also asked, also, is there anything you would have changed about your wedding? Yay for 1k. At the time, I don't think there would have been. It was the perfect day. I cannot remember ever being as happy as I was on that day, which is exactly how it should be. It went smoothly. It rained all day. I guess I would have changed that if that was in my power, but it didn't matter on the day. You genuinely do not care. Every little thing you spend however long planning, worrying about, does not matter on the day. And there probably at the time wouldn't have been anything I changed. Looking back now, there are a couple things I would have changed, but it has been 3 years, so there's going to be things that I'm like, oh, I probably wouldn't have that now, because your tastes just change. One thing I would say is that my photographer was amazing, and I loved her style of photos. It was exactly what we wanted, but I do wish now I'd maybe got more photos with specific people. I wish I'd had more photos taken with my mum. I wish I'd had more photos with my bridesmaids. We had a lot of natural photos, which is what we wanted, so she did exactly what we wanted. But looking back now, I'm just like, I just wish I had a really nice photo of me and my mum from the wedding, and I just wish I had like a really nice, you know, when you look on Pinterest and you see like the photos of all the bridesmaids like walking through the fields, and like I wish I had something like that, but that isn't what I asked for at the time. I asked for natural photos with like minimal posing, so she did exactly what I wanted. It's just looking back now, there's some photos we didn't get that I wish we had, but that's it really. The day was perfect. I remember it as the best day ever, which is exactly how you should remember your wedding. Along came Jay, who is Bella, who, if you don't follow Bella, you need to, because she is the biggest babe ever. I just love her. Like when she speaks, I'm just like, oh, I just think she's just the nicest lady. So I will link Bella's channel as well. I will link everyone's channels below. And Bella says, well done darling, you are truly beautiful and inspiring. Oh, thank you Bella. What little things make you smile? Well, the main little thing I've got here, being a sassy diva, plus she's just had a haircut, so she looks absolutely hideous, but the little thing that makes me smile is definitely my dog Daisy, or just dogs in general. I just love dogs, but Daisy is the light of my life. It's so sad how much I love this dog, and she's so sassy, but she just makes me smile. I can't look at her without smiling. I just think she's just the cutest thing ever. I know I'm biased, but I just love her. Like, she makes my day. She's an absolute nightmare. Like, see what I mean? She's total diva, so demanding. She's diabetic, so we have to inject her twice a day. Like, she's an absolute nightmare on paper, but I just love her so much, and I can't even like look at her without smiling. I just find her hilarious. Everything she does cracks me up. So the main little thing that makes me smile is definitely this little pooch Daisy. The next question is from Hello Little One, and she says, what did you do before you were on YouTube, i.e. for work? and what are your hobbies outside of YouTube? So I've actually wanted to mention this in a video for a while because I think it's probably quite apparent that I'm not working at the moment, but I don't know, I kind of have wanted to address it, but didn't know if it was a weird thing to address. And anyway, I will just kind of tell you the whole story. So I finished university in 2012. I had been working part-time throughout university at Office Shoes. If you're in the UK, Office Shoes, I'm sure you all know it. I worked there part-time through university. That is actually where I met a lot of you know Lauren from Mother Trooper, who was like my bestest pal. We actually met working at Office together. Daisy. So we met at Office and I worked there part-time. When I graduated university, I ended up working there as the concession manager. So I ran our little Office Shoes concession. We had such a fun time. It was a really fun job, but it was also really rubbish pay for a lot of hours. I was working a lot of hours and the pay was pretty pants. So yeah, I decided that retail maybe wasn't for me anymore. I maybe wanted to move on. Anyone that has worked in retail will know it is a really difficult, stressful, high-pressured environment to work in. You are working a lot of hours for very little pay. You get, you know, no time off at Christmas. You work weekends. It's not the most family-friendly. Andrew was also working in retail and we never had time off at the same time. It was just not ideal. So I left Office Shoes and in January 2014 I started working for a very well-known children's charity. I worked there for 3 years and worked my way up and I absolutely loved it. Made some great friends. It was a brilliant place to work, a great charity, have nothing bad to say about them. But as a lot of you will know, in 2016 I actually went through 3 miscarriages, which meant I needed a lot of time off work. They were absolutely amazing about it. They never made me feel guilty, they never rushed me, nothing like that. I have nothing bad to say about them. But it was a very stressful time. I needed a lot of time off work to kind of deal with that, and yeah. And then just when I kind of thought things might have been starting to look up, just before Christmas, I found out my mum has cancer. And to be honest, it hit me like a ton of bricks. I've never really gone into it. If you guys would be interested in seeing a video about kind of, I don't even know what I would talk about, but kind of coping with cancer when it's someone extremely close to you, let me know. Or if you've got any ideas for anything like that. I'm quite open with talking about it, but obviously it's a very difficult subject to talk about. Anyway, I'm rambling. Just before Christmas, I found out my mum had cancer and it just topped off what had been the worst year of my life. It was a really horrendous year. At that point, and to be honest still now, we didn't know what the prognosis was for my mum's cancer. It is incurable, but they are treating it at the moment, so that's good and hopefully we can continue like that for a while. But it just rocked my entire world. I am an only child. My mum and my dad split up when I was very young and I've always been brought up just by my mum. It's always been me and my mum, and that for me was the worst thing imaginable that could ever happen. I still, as you can tell, I'm not very good talking about it. It still makes me quite emotional. But it hit me like a ton of bricks and I just couldn't do it anymore. I just couldn't. I was a mess. I cried every day for months. Like, I just could not process it in my head. And work just became too much. I got signed off from work for quite a while with anxiety. And as it got closer and closer to the time of going back to work, I just was besides myself. I was a complete mess. And I'm very lucky that Andrew is in a very good job. He earns good money. We're not by any means rich or even well off. Andrew just works very hard and earns a decent wage. And I'm very lucky that he said, I can't bear seeing you like this anymore, and told me to just hand in my notice and spend time with my mum, which is the best thing anyone can ever tell you when you are feeling that horrendous and that anxious. So I did, and I handed in my notice just before Christmas, and I haven't been working since December. So yeah, I do YouTube at the moment. It is in no way a job. I don't earn money from it, but I enjoy it. I mainly started it to kind of release a lot of the stress and anxiety I was feeling, and to just give me something else to focus on, because I was a complete state, to be honest, and YouTube has massively helped me and given me kind of something to focus on. And not working meant that when we were going through fertility treatment, I could be at the hospital every other day without stressing about work, and I'm extremely fortunate to be in the position I am. I do know that this isn't going to be forever. I fully intend to go back to work one day, but for now, this is the best thing for me. I get to spend time with my mum. I see her every single day, and I get to kind of focus on this pregnancy, and prior to that, getting this pregnancy. So yeah, I'm very lucky. I don't work. I have worked my whole life before this, but I don't work at the moment. Hobbies outside of YouTube. I am a very sociable person, so I love going out and seeing friends, going out for food. Can food be a hobby? Because I love me some food. So they're probably my main things. For me, YouTube isn't a job, so YouTube is my hobby. I would love YouTube to be able to be a job one day, but I'm under no illusion that will probably ever happen, because there are so many people doing this that are so much more talented than me and can offer so much more. But it is a hobby that I am loving at the moment, and I'm very thankful that it has brought me a lot of happiness this year when I had a really, really tough year last year. So yeah, again, I'm sorry this video is going to be so long, but yeah, thank you very much for your question anyway. I hope that answered it okay. Mary Beth Rogers 1 has asked, do you have your birth plan figured out yet, or will you wait until later to start doing that? So if you watched my last pregnancy update, I might be having to have a cesarean due to an issue with my placenta. So I don't think I can really make a birth plan at the moment because I don't know, but essentially I will do whatever they say is safest. I don't really have a preference. In an absolute dream world, I'd love to have, you know, a natural water birth, and that would be amazing, but I am completely open to anything that they suggest that is safest to get this baby delivered safely into the world. Obviously, Lauren is my best friend, and Lauren went through an extremely traumatic labour with Teddy, and Teddy ended up very, very poorly, and I am not naive to the fact things can go wrong. I know things can go wrong, and I would never dream of saying this is what I want and being blinkered to that. Things can go wrong, and things do go wrong, and I will do whatever they say is the safest. So I will definitely do a birth plan video nearer the time, when I know more about what kind of labour I can be expecting, whether that be a cesarean or a natural birth. But basically, I am not fussy in the slightest. I just want whatever is safest. Ashley's Land has said, congratulations, thank you Ashley. I'm also having issues conceiving as I have fertility problems, and your videos are really inspiring. Oh, thank you very much. That's exactly why I wanted to make these videos, so I really appreciate you saying that. I'm loving the baby clothing hauls at the moment. I can guarantee there will be plenty more of those to come. My question is, as lucky as you feel with this pregnancy, would you like to try and have a few more children, or even a huge family? So yeah, as you all know if you've watched my videos, me and Andrew have always said that if we are lucky enough to have one, we would be happy stopping there. We wouldn't push for two, and we don't know if we could go through this whole stressful journey again. That being said, realistically, in a dream world, I would love 2 children, and I'm not gonna say we would never try again, because I think if we have this baby and he's delivered safely into this world, I think there is every chance I would love to try for a second baby. I don't think we would go through all the fertility treatment and stuff again. I think that would be far too stressful, and other people deserve to have that place if we've already been lucky enough to have one baby, in my opinion. That's, you know, just my opinion. I think it's hard to get fertility treatment as it is, and I think if I have a baby and someone else doesn't, they should probably get priority. But I would probably want to try again and just see what happens. So try but not try, so to speak. And if it happened, I would be over the moon. But I don't think we would really push it and go down this whole fertility treatment road again, because it is a long and bumpy road and puts a lot of strain on your relationship. I know a lot of people that I've kind of spoken to from forums and things that their relationships just haven't survived fertility treatment. It is extremely, extremely stressful, and we were only on kind of like the bottom rung of fertility treatment. I can only imagine how that stress builds and builds as you go up the like fertility treatment ladder, so to speak. So yeah, I would love to have 2. I would never, don't think, push for more than 2. I say this and we might be sat here in 10 years time with me with like 14 children, but I don't think that's going to happen somehow. So yeah, I would be happy with 1. I would potentially like 2, but I don't think I would go any further than that. Tim and Celeste. Hi Celeste! I'm sure you all know Celeste's channel. She was like the first person talking about infertility or miscarriage I think I ever watched. So yeah, Tim Celeste say, congratulations lovely, do you have any favourite children's books that you're most looking forward to reading to your little one? My mum has kept all my children's books from when I was little, so you know, like The Tiger Who Came to Tea and all of those ones, and I would love to read all of those. But the book I'm probably most excited about, and I brought it with me, is this I Love My Daddy book, and it's a squirrel book. And if you watched my TTC tag before Christmas, I think it was, I mentioned that I bought this book like nearly 3 years ago now, when me and Andrew started trying for a baby, and this was always the way I was going to tell him we were expecting a baby, because me and Andrew are really weird. We're obsessed with squirrels. We have squirrel things all over the house, and we like call each other squirrel and whirl. It's really weird, but you know, couples always have weird pet names for each other. So I saw this I Love My Daddy squirrel book, and I was like, I've got to buy it. That is how I'm going to tell him we're having a baby. And I just never got to give it to him. Obviously with my miscarriages, it just never felt like the right time. Even with this pregnancy, I haven't technically given it to him. I packed it when we were moving house, and we were unpacking a suitcase, and he was like, what's this? And it was the book. And I kind of said, oh, that's what I bought you when I was going to tell you we were pregnant. So he has got this now. So it's really special, but it's not how I ever would have wanted to give him this book. But I just can't wait one day to hopefully be sat down with Andrew and with our baby and kind of just all read this book together as a family, because it's such a significant thing. This was the first thing I ever bought when we wanted to try for a baby. So it's just really, really special, and the thought of hopefully one day soon getting to read this book to our baby as a family is really, really exciting. So yeah. Karen H Ireland, who again, I love her channel. Her channel's called Our Irish Family, and Karen has a little girl called Ava who she had by IUI, I believe. So yeah, I will again link her channel as I will with everyone else's. And Karen has said, okay, my question is, what are some things that you wish people knew about you? That's a really tough one, because I am very open with you guys, possibly too open. I think you guys literally know everything about my life. So I can't really think of anything that you don't know that I wished you did know. I was wanting to address the whole job situation for a long time, so I'm quite glad now that that question came up and I kind of explained why I'm not working. Not that I need to explain myself, but I just know I always wonder what people do and what their job is, and I'm just nosy like that, so I kind of thought other people would be wondering too. So yeah, there was that. I can't really think of anything else, to be honest, Karen. I probably just tell too much of everything to everyone. And Karen's second question is, if you could do anything or wish anything, what would it be? And that would obviously be that my mum was well. That would be the main thing. If I could wish anything, it would be that my mum didn't have cancer. And also, there's just so many things, isn't there? There's so many things, like, I wish Lauren had never had to go through that traumatic labour that she did with Teddy. Like, you just wish so many things were different. I wish I'd never had miscarriages. I wish all the other ladies that I watch that talk about miscarriages and never had to go through that. There's just so many things. So many things. But basically, good health for all. People being ill scares me, and the thought of losing people scares me, so I would just wish good health on everyone. Lotus Flower Eats, who is my friend from university, Elise, who you might have seen in a couple of my vlogs before, has said, well done babes on hitting 1,000 subscribers. Super proud of you. Can I ask a question? And then put the little devil horns, the little devil. She's put, keeping it light-hearted, obs. My question to you is, what's your most embarrassing moment, ... at university? I'm not going to share that story. We'll just swiftly move on past that one. So yeah, thanks Elise. Thanks for asking that one. And the last question or questions is from heather.pcx. Heather doesn't have a channel, but she has a really good Instagram where she talks about her infertility battles, and she's actually now pregnant, which is super exciting and I'm so happy for her. So Heather has said, when weaning, are you going to do puree, homemade or shop bought, or baby led weaning? I've never really given this too much thought, but I recently watched, I don't know if any of you watch Rhiannon Ashley vlogs. I watch her vlog channel, I love her videos, and she was talking about her whole weaning process with her little girl Delilah, and she was saying that she kind of does a mixture of the two. She does baby-led weaning, but she also does purees, and I think that is probably the route I would go down. Just kind of a mixture of the two, whatever works. I don't really know enough about it, to be honest, to have too much of an opinion on it, but I would imagine I would do something similar to Rhiannon. I will link that vlog of hers if I can find it below, where she talks about what she does with her little girl. And question 2 from Heather is, what is the tattoo on your wrist? She's broken this into a few parts. So the tattoo on my wrist is, it's really hard to hold it at the right angle. I got it so that if I put my arm down, it faces people. I got this when I was 18. Basically, I was 18, I was a bit of an emo, and I was like, I'm 18, I need to get a tattoo. So I didn't really care too much what it was, I just wanted to get a tattoo, and I got this, which is a bee, obviously for Becca, how vain, I don't know what possessed me, with a little pink bow. Andrew actually designed it for me, and my dad, who is pretty much head to toe covered in tattoos, took me to get my first tattoo when I was 18. So there isn't any deep meaning behind it. I was just 18 and desperate to get a tattoo. And the next part of the question from Heather is, do you have any other tattoos too? Yeah, I have 2 more. I've got one behind my ear, which is a little love heart. That Elise, who I mentioned before, my friend from university, we went and got matching ones when we were at university. So we got those in Sheffield, little matching love hearts behind our ear because we're cute like that. And I also have some song lyrics on my foot, which are from Damien Rice, Cannonball. It says step a little closer, because I thought it was hilarious because it was on my foot. So yeah, that was from Damien Rice. I'm a massive Damien Rice fan. I love Damien Rice. I've listened to him for years and years and years. I was pretty mortified that not long after I got that tattoo, Little Mix brought out their cover of Cannonball on the X Factor. I love Little Mix, don't get me wrong, but having a Little Mix tattoo was a bit next level for me, and I did get a lot of people taking the mickey out of me for that. But no, it's a Damien Rice tattoo. I love Damien Rice. I still love Damien Rice. Damien Rice song lyrics. So I've got 3 tattoos in total. And that is it. That's the end of the questions. This is the longest video ever. I hope I've answered all your questions. If you have any other ones, please leave them in the comments, and if I get enough, I will do another Q&A video in a little while. So yeah, again, massive thank you to everyone that has subscribed and supported this channel over the past 6 months. It means the world to me, and I love making these videos. So yeah, I will leave it there, guys. I will see you all in my next video, and I hope you're all having a lovely day.